Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Payne. Welcome to another episode of Blu Ocean Crypto. Got my whole family all moved to El Salvador now, so that's great. So now we can jump right back into all the great Mavia content. So today I want to do an advanced base building guide or tips and tricks. We're actually going to be doing two of these that highlights some different aspects of what you should be doing when you're building your base. And without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So firstly, the first thing you always want to do is you want to move your base, your buildings outside of your base. Otherwise, you're going to be biased towards just kind of expanding what you already have, or kind of just, you'll get stuck with that design. So what I always like to do, and this is just a best practice type thing, take all of your buildings, move them way off to the side. So you can see here, took my headquarters over to the left. Now I'm moving all of the collectors. It doesn't really matter if you keep them organized. I kind of like to. I find it's a little easier when I'm placing things. So really, I'm just very meticulously taking my time, moving absolutely everything down. I usually like to do something a little different with the walls, and obviously I don't want to take up too much of that bottom left, so I don't want to have the buildings kind of encroaching on the middle of the map. So I'll really kind of only do maybe 2 or 3 lines of buildings at most. And then I like to keep the collectors together, and of course all the defenses. Because I find with this game, generally, your defenses are going to be set separately from your collectors, and those will be set separately from your storages. And you can see here, I'm just kind of moving everything out within my view right now, so I don't have to constantly drag everything. And then now I'm going to move it a little bit more, organized. Like I said, the main point of this is so that you don't have a bias towards your new base. Otherwise, what I've seen time and time again, especially in Clash of Clans, is you'll always just be kind of altering the same base, and you're not really fixing the weaknesses that way, and you're also not testing new strategies and new designs properly because you're just stuck with this base and you're just making small adjustments. So you can see here now I'm just kind of moving things to the left side. I feel like there's a little too much on the bottom, so I want to just make sure I have enough room that I can still build appropriately depending on how large the base is going to get. And then I'll also do something very similar with the walls. I'm just going to move them really off to the side. There's a trick that I find that helps with the walls though, and you'll kind of see here in a moment what I do. I don't attach all of them. You can just kind of put them in 3 continuous lines, but then I find you have to individually move a single wall out. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll make sure that there's just like sections of the wall, kind of like in components. So now I've got all my bases fully organized, buildings fully organized down at the bottom. I can finally move on the walls. Now you guys can see too, this doesn't take a lot of time, right? Once you get good at base building, really you can throw something up in 10, 15 minutes. You guys are gonna see it's gonna take us less than 10 minutes here to do an entire base. Base building is arguably the most important skill. Now, of course, attacking, very important, but in Clash of Clans, good base builders are the highest coveted type players, meaning they're the hardest to find, and when teams do find them, they never want to let them go. Especially with how Clash of Clans is going right now, it's actually a lot harder to 3-star bases. So base building is the thing that most people just ignore, or they're lazy, or they don't really spend time on it. Like we've always seen, you guys have probably seen this too, tons of bases where it's like they just built their walls, they upgraded their HQ and now they just kind of put the walls around the side, or extended them out instead of actually, redesigning the base. So you can see here, now we've kind of finally completed all the walls. I've got everything set up properly. Now I have my center. So now I really want to decide, how do I want the middle of my base to look? And this is what I always like to start with, is I kind of formulate, well, do I want to protect my storages? Am I trying to defend my trophies? Do I want to put Mira maybe in the center? And for this design, I've decided I want to protect my headquarters. Don't make a symmetrical base. Symmetry is very easy for someone in the 15 seconds that they have to figure out how to attack your base to be able to figure out what's the best way to attack. You want something a bit non-symmetrical. Now at the higher end of the game, it doesn't seem to matter quite as much because the defenses are really strong, but still you can see here, I'm not starting with an exact, square box. I've kind of got some of the defenses a little off to the side or a little bit angled a bit. And now I'm just starting with the walls. So obviously let's kind of box in the center because this is where I want everything to start. I'm putting Mira a little bit down on the bottom because I do have a plan there. You know, I'm probably going to put a little bit more heavy defenses towards the top, or storages or things that'll be harder. So like I said, I really like to start with the center design of the base, and I'm starting fresh. You know, I've said this probably 3 or 4 times now, but it's so important. Don't just build upon your old design. Move all those buildings and structures off to the side. Start fresh. This is going to help you create more unique designs. You're going to get more experience with base building, and you're going to be able to test more types of things that work better versus just kind of constantly molding the same old base. So this is the one thing that you can see I had all the string of walls. I have to individually place the walls right now, so that can take a little bit of time. Sometimes what's generally better, and I didn't really do it properly this time, is leave some of those like chunks of walls kind of separate rather than all together. So then you're not going to have to do the 1 by 1 by 1 by 1, kind of like I am here. At the same time, I do like doing the 1 by 1. It makes me feel like I'm not being as lazy. When I have those long strings of walls, I might be trying to just kind of fit them into certain aspects of the base. Once again, it goes back to that whole not using the old design, starting fresh. So this would be the best way to do it, where I'm individually placing the walls, but I found you can do a little bit of a shortcut if you just keep the sections. So you can see here, it's not fully symmetrical. You know, I've got the motor a little bit up a couple tiles compared to where the other one is down there by Mira, but it's not perfect. It's not a square. You don't want that. And actually that's a little hard for me because my OCD is usually telling me I want everything to be perfect. I want everything to be, you know, symmetrical. But I've learned from many years of experience in Clash of Clans, it's the non-symmetrical bases and the ones that are a little bit harder to assess mentally are the ones that generally always perform better. So once I get this middle section done, like you can see here, okay, now I've completed it. I've got mirror on the bottom, feeling pretty good about the middle section right now. You know, I've still got the 3 turrets to do, so let's kind of just continue to put the defenses around them. Really what I'm doing here with this particular design is I'm protecting my headquarters above all else. So I want to prevent a 3-star. I want to save my trophies. This is a trophy pushing base or trophy defending base, so to speak. So really I'm just concentrating absolutely everything as far as I have defenses go right in the smack dab middle. This might not be the case of for a base that you want to protect your resources. Obviously I'd want to have my storages in the middle. But once again, you know, what are you doing? Are you protecting your HQ for trophies? Are you protecting your storages for resources? You really kind of want to know what you want your base to accomplish before you start. So you can see here, we've kind of got this circular defense going. We're a little heavier on the right with defenses, which is fine. I also put an oil storage up there just to kind of give me an idea of where the wall needs to go. And I am making a little bit of a box structure here to start, but I'm obviously going to make some adjustments, as you can see. So let's just start with this. We'll kind of move these walls in a little bit here down on the bottom, because really what we're going to want to do, we're going to want to try to bait people to come in at this base in a particular way, which is exactly what I'm doing. I'm leaving the bottom a little open, you can see, because really Mir is also there too. So I am expecting more people to want to come in and attack Mir and pull her out. So now I'm putting 3 of my storages down there, because we all know storages are the best defensive structure in the game right now. They just have a ridiculous amount of hit points. So the idea is get people baiting my Mira out. They get stuck on these storages, and a good majority of these defenses are just going to be hammering them the entire freaking time. So really I'm trying to design the base in a way that I can predict how someone is going to attack it. And that's why we have that bottom section open. So we still got some collectors left. There's obviously the rally points we need to put around a few places. Let me just reorganize a little bit of this here. You know, obviously we can fit another collector in there. You know, some people might try to come from the top with like markswomen or marines if they're just trying to get my gold. That's fine. I'm trying to protect my trophies here, not my resources. Once again, depends on what you want your base to accomplish. This is supposed to defend trophies or defend just period. Rally points, I think we're just going to kind of jam them here near the end. Once again, it's going to make people think I'm trying to protect my storages down there, and that's the most optimal way to attack the base, but obviously it's not. Now, another advantage with this, if someone tries to come on the top right and they're using boom carts, they might think, oh, that's where I'm not expecting them to come in. They're actually going to wrap around the sides. It's going to be difficult for them to get directly into the middle with the headquarters. Just gonna do a little sneaky thing there and put the engineer hut over on the side. I kind of like doing that just in case anyone runs out of time. And boom, there we have it. Look at that, full new base from scratch. Took us barely any time at all. You know, I think it was like 10 minutes in total. And I like to do this every couple days. You know, I'm also want to check, how are my defenses looking? Are they actually going to protect the ranges and areas that I want? Right? So now I'm just kind of checking, how do these turrets look? How does the sniper tower look? And yeah, really the idea with this base is I'm trying to bait people in on the southwest side, coming in down there. That's it. So I hope you guys found this video educational. You know, really a couple things it boils down to: what do you want your base to accomplish? That's an important thing to understand in the beginning. Make sure you start fresh each time. You're always moving all those buildings off to the side before you design anything, so you're not going to have a bias towards your old design. And then of course, you know, make sure you're doing this often. You know, don't be lazy and just get stuck with one base. You know, learn from your attacks and defenses, especially the defenses when it comes to, you know, your base. See how people are doing against it. Are you getting 3-starred too much? Maybe you need to upgrade some more things. Maybe you do need to change design. And we're going to be doing another advanced base building video coming out right away for you guys. That's going to go over another design, and I'm going to highlight some other tips and tricks. Okay, thanks so much for your time today. Of course, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do. It really helps us out. Smash that like button so we can show this content to all kinds of other people who are interested in Mavia. And now that I'm all settled in El Salvador and our family is here, we're going to just be pumping out the content again. So I'm really excited to get back into the thick of everything for all of you guys. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Cheers.